An Atlanta VA worker accused of taking part in drug deals with patients is now off the job.
This comes during a review of the case by the DeKalb County District Attorney's Office. At least 3 veterans came forward saying social worker Philip Fritz paid them for their methadone.
Fox 5 I-Team reporter Johnny Edwards broke the story earlier this month and just learned about this latest development. Johnny?
Russ, Christine, after patients blew the whistle on Fritz, he kept his job for years. Just moved to a position where he didn't see patients. Now we've learned, after we aired secretly recorded videos showing alleged drug deals, Fritz quit while still under investigation.
I'm not allowed to talk to anybody right now.
Up until 2 years ago, his job at the Atlanta Veterans Administration Medical Center to help recovering drug addicts who serve their country stay clean. But now the DeKalb County DA's office wants to know more about what's going on here.
He had received some bottles from me and he was taking the labels off.
These cell phone videos showing alleged drug transactions taking place on federal property inside the office of Philip Fritz, part of the VA's opioid treatment clinic.
Be 720 at 80.
Like 650. That's cool.
That's very cool. Thank you.
The videos turned over to the VA by 2 veterans who said they'd had enough of selling their methadone bottles to their own rehab counselor. Methadone prescribed to help addicts kick drugs by alleviating withdrawal, but a synthetic opioid that can be abused and illegal to buy or sell on the black market.
Even though inside I knew that what I was doing was wrong. For my recovery, I knew it was wrong. It's hard to get out of stuff like that when you're deep into it.
Now a new development. A VA spokeswoman telling the Fox 5 I-Team in an email that Fritz resigned under investigation effective August 13th. That's 1 week after the I-Team first aired a story about the allegations. Also reporting that the DeKalb County DA's office requested investigative records on the case from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Did you buy methadone from patients? Fritz denied everything when we tried speaking with him last month.
So the allegations are false, whatever you're talking about.
We reached out to him again about his resignation, but didn't hear back.
The DeKalb DA's office now telling the I-Team it's received that VA file and can't comment further on a, quote, open and active investigation, which we've learned includes other evidence beyond cell phone videos.
How much money did Mr. Fritz pay you in total?
Antonio Bradley and another vet also gave the VA screenshots of Cash App transactions with Fritz.
I would say in the ballpark area of $16,000 to $17,000.
But the I-Team learned the case against Fritz apparently has weaknesses. After the vets came forward, the VA said in a statement that it placed Fritz on administrative duties with no patient contact, referring the allegations to the VA's Office of Inspector General. The statement also disclosing that federal prosecutors later took a pass on pursuing Fritz, with an OIG official shopping the case to DeKalb County, and the DeKalb DA's office telling the I-Team about legal issues that may have tainted the original investigation, adding it may not be possible to move forward with a prosecution. Now, the DA's office wouldn't say what those weaknesses are, but said it would move forward on reviewing the case to make a final determination on whether to pursue it. Fritz's resignation brings the VA's internal review to a close. We asked if he resigned under pressure, but got no answer. Despite the allegations, Fritz remains a licensed clinical social worker through Georgia's Board of Counselors and Social Workers. Russ, Christine?
Wow.
Boy, the video certainly seems to speak for itself. Now, obviously the methadone is important to the veterans' recovery, but I suppose they needed the money too, didn't they?
Right. You saw the large amounts of money involved here. Also, 2 of the veterans that claimed in a now dismissed federal lawsuit that Fritz actually manipulated them into these deals and encouraged them to use street drugs instead of their methadone. One of those veterans, Antonio Bradley, who was in the story, said this caused a major relapse with abusing fentanyl, and he told me he's still struggling with addiction to this day.
Wow, they're truly the real victims here as well. These veterans trying to seek out help and couldn't get it.
Well, right, absolutely. And of course, you know, it takes 2 to tango, but I think the responsibility lies with someone who's drawing a federal salary and holds a state license.
Well, anybody would have known how vulnerable they were, exactly.
Absolutely.
Johnny, thanks so much.
Thank you.